Yeah, we're on a break in 3 minutes.
We're back on Twitch. As Katie's got a nice one to defend here with the 7-5 suited, facing Matt's UTG Open. And does catch a piece on Queen 5-4 Rainbow. Like to see Matt continue here. It's an interesting spot here when we got like a pair in between the Queen and the 5, because like we may lean more towards checking with jacks, but with a hand like sixes, when there's a lot of overcards that can come on the turn, it's better to come in for a bet. Don't want Katie realising equity with like a random, say 10-8 or something like that as an example. So good to see Matt come in for the continue still with the overcard. Katie not going anywhere with her particular holding. And this ace on the turn. And Matt gonna double barrel here now, so effectively maybe turning his sixes into a bluff. Going to be very difficult for us to ever get called by a 5 on this particular board, so maybe double barreling, setting up a 3 barrel, try and get Katie to fold a queen perhaps, but with 7-5 Katie not going to be able to continue there.
Gary Langley sent me a message. Jamie Nixon's trebled up in Vegas.
Oi, oi.
All in 700,000, 3-way all in coup. 10s against ace queen against ace jack. 10s hold. Nixon up to 1.5 mil. Good lad.
2.1 mil tower.
Oh, 2.1 mil. Oh yeah, of course, trebles up to 2.1 mil. Trebles up to 2.1 million. I don't know how many's left in, but that's great. Thanks to Gary for the information.
Well, as long as it's not a super stack event, I'm guessing he's pretty deep, Tower. I'm going to find out actually, because 2.1 million is a decent stack whatever tournament you're in.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Gary. Information regarding Jamie Nixon and the $800 buy-in. I'm not even too sure what event it is, to be fair.
It's got to be this one.
Full framing towards it, Poison River, 60k, stacked out, got 80k.
Jamie's above average with 58 left. He's in the $800 deep stack.
Chips for a 58. Come on, the boy. 1.3 million prize pool. Come on, the Nixon. 200 bags up top. He's got 3 bags locked up.
He's currently what, third out of 56?
Fourth out of 58.
Wow.
Fourth out of 58 I got here. Mel's got third out of 56.
Amazing.
I'm on the WSOP site, Mel, I'm not sure.
That's amazing. And this is the final hand of the session. As we get ready,
That was
winning
the final
last
hand of the
hand.
session.
Amazing news from Vegas that Jamie Nixon, our Grosvenor Poker sponsored player, is currently third out of 56.
2,000
Come on,
entries.
Nixon! Can we live stream the final day from Vegas?
We'll see. We'll get on the case if he gets there. We'll see. Right, guys, we're back in 15 minutes. We will see you then.
You knew a lot about him playing so much volume online.
Yeah. I think that was the first time I met him as well. So I sort of played him online. So that's always exciting when you got to meet people in real life after you played a lot against them online and stuff. And you know, it was weird. Like even though you sort of didn't know each other that well, like you kind of, if you felt like you knew each other for years, kind of thing. Like I met a few of, even at my wedding, like a couple of guys who are like in my groomsmen party. I met them through, I met them 10 plus years ago through poker, and we've stayed close friends ever since.
Yeah. Now we can't not have an interview with Chris Moorman and talking about the father in the GUKPT circuit.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Why are you?"
Manchester. This is one of the greatest little stories of a GUKPT title. I do believe it was a birthday present. Is that correct?
Yeah, belated birthday present, because I was at the time I was living in Australia, and my dad's birthday is on Valentine's Day, and so I didn't get back till, I guess I got back from Australia in like March, so it was a month after my dad's birthday, and I was like, oh, what do you want for your birthday? And he was like, oh God, it's gone now, you missed it, blah blah blah, moaning. So I was like, come on, give me an idea. And then I actually came up with an idea. I was like, how about this? I'm gonna he was playing a bit of poker just on online, but low stakes. He'd only really ever played one live tournament before, and that was a £10 rebuy at Southend Casino, so a little bit different. But I was like, how about this? I'm going to go up and play this tournament in Manchester. It's £1,000 to buy in. I'll buy you in, and like we can work out maybe like a backing deal or something. I'll buy you in, and no pressure. We both play the tournament and go up, have like a father and son bonding weekend kind of thing, and just have a good time and have fun with it. And he was a bit reluctant at first because he didn't want to embarrass me, and he'd never really played live, so he was a bit nervous. But in the end, he agreed to go, and that was good for me as well because I don't drive, so he gave me a lift up there.
Ulterior motive.
Yeah, it was an expensive Uber, but whatever. No. So anyway, we both played the tournament. This was at the stage as well where still dusting hard in live poker, never done anything good. And so I'm thinking, okay, this could be the one for me. And anyway, we get to first break, and he's enjoying meeting everyone. He's meeting all the lads, kind of thing that he's sort of followed online because he really enjoyed railing me and stuff like that. So he met Trig, a few of the other boys, and on first break, we were all chatting, you know, how everyone does. Oh, I'm up to this chip stack or whatever, and he's tripled up. I don't even know how. He must have been getting out of line for sure. But I was like, okay, you need to chill out. Like, you've got some chips now. Just play patient. It's a long tournament. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I was trying to coach him on breaks, and yeah, after day one, we both made it through, and we were both actually top 10 in chips. So that was really kind of exciting. So like, we're up for a few hours at night, sort of chatting like two mates, kind of thing, adrenaline's pumping, trying to get some sleep before day two. And then day two comes about, and I ended up losing a big hand. I actually get knocked out 5 before the money, so I was a bit gutted because I was thinking, oh, this is my tournament kind of thing. But I regrouped, went to the bar, got a few beers with a few of the guys, and then went to rail my dad because he was still in. And you know, at first he just wanted to make the money, made the money, he had a decent stack, and then after that, though, he really wanted to make the final table, and that's where it kind of started going a little bit wrong because he started changing his game, and he played too tight, and he was blinding out, and he got down short. And I tried to tell him on the break, okay, if you get anything, you're going to be big blind after the break. If you get anything in the big blind, just go with it. You know, you're only down to like 8 big blinds or something like that, I think. Yeah, so it's like anything half decent, king 9, whatever, go with it if it's a late position open. And folded to the legend of UK poker, Surinder Sarnar, on the button, and he was chip leader at the time, so he was playing very aggressive, like raising every hand. No one was really playing back at him, and he's 3.5x it on the button like everyone did back then. And my dad was in the big blind. He pushed all his chips in like Phil Helmuth style. I was like, okay, I'm on the round, like saying, no, he's got a good one here. That's good, yes. And then Surinder's in the tank because, you know, he's probably pot committed at this stage, made it 3.5 big blinds. My dad only had like 8 big blinds, but obviously he's got a good hand by the way he's tanking. So I'm like, okay, we're going to be in good shape here. And he finally calls, and they flip over the cards, and Surinder had like Jack 5 off, and I was like, oh wow, hopefully my dad's got like him dominated, like jacks, queens, like ace jack, something like that. Yeah. And my dad just proudly flipped over his 10-6 offsuit. I was just like, what the fuck? And then before I knew it, they just dealt the flop, and it came 7-8-9. He just flopped the straight. And he was like, yeah, I told you, I knew. He's like, and then he doubled up there, and he just like turned into a new person. He just like went back to his old self, just going like playing every hand, and got to the final table, and everyone else was trying to ladder up, play ICM, and my dad was just going for it, putting them in a coffin, and ended up getting heads up, and yeah, the rest is history. Like, it was crazy because I was watching. It was so weird watching on the rail because it was out of my control. I couldn't, it was down to him, and I was so nervous for him. But yeah, for him to get the win was just really a fairy tale. And then it kind of like the reality sunk in, because then he started giving me shit for having a bigger cash for the next year of my life. I had to like focus more on live poker because I was like, I can't have this for forever. Everyone who me is to tell them that I was a professional poker player, but he had a bigger cash than me. So yeah.
Well, he finished 13th in the Champion of Champions as well, and that's his only 2 Ender mob. Like that's the only 2 cash he's got on the Ender mob. The Champion of Champions are winning the GUKPT.
No, he always says, "Oh, I've probably got one of the highest ROIs in live poker." Like, because he didn't really start playing much. He played like one World Series poker event, like a 1500. He got some of the boys to buy a piece of him when he came over to see me in Vegas one year. And I think that's about it, really. So he's played like 3 or 4 live tournaments ever, cashed 2 of them and won one. I was like, must be nice. And then he always tells me whenever I go and see him, I go to his house to play online or whatever, and he's playing online as well. And he'll be moaning about all these bad beats he's getting. He's saying, "I'm the unluckiest poker player ever," and I'm just like, you do realize how good you ran to win that tournament, like the
just
like 100
remind him
times
of the 10 tricks.
by him, but yeah.
Brilliant! It was a fantastic story, and something we have actually mentioned it quite a few times. Whenever you do pop up, we're on the live stream, and we do mention yourself, and you've won something big, and we just have to quickly mention that the story of your dad is just, to me, it is one of the nicest and best stories of while we've done the GUKPTs. It really is.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, even all the highs and lows that I've had in poker, like, it's still like my most memorable moment. It wasn't even involving me directly. Like, it was just surreal. It was such a great day.
You touched on Australia. The Aussie Millions in 2011, 721 entries, final table, 7th for 173k. Were you a bit disappointed or pretty pleased that you finished 7th out of such a massive field?
Mainly happy because, like, that was the first time I've ever at that point made a big live final table, so it's such a buzz. And also, like, I was free rolling anyway because on day one I was chatting with Toby Lewis and he was kind of mugging off my live game, and I asked him to put his money where his mouth is, so he gave me 5-2, I think, on making day 2 of the tournament, because in that tournament it's quite hard to make day 2. It's a long day 1. But I was like, okay, I'm going to do good in this one. He was like, no, you're not. I'm not swapping you or whatever. And I was like, what the, So we had a bet. So I bet I was like, what's your max amount? And he said 5k. So I bet max amount 5k at 5-2 that I make day 2, and made day 2 of a good stack. Actually, it was kind of stupid of me. Like, most people, if they got that much money running on it, more than the buying of the tournament, would sort of, play tight near the end of the day. But I was telling my whole table that I had this bet. So then I was just pretending I had basically had the nuts every hand and just re-raising them and going crazy. Even on the last hand of the day, John Eames was on my table and he knew about the bet and he raised under the gun. And, we always give John shit for being a tight player. He's raised under the gun. He's the only person who covers me at the table. I've locked it up. There's no need to get involved. And I just see King 4 suited in the calf and I had to free bet him and start barreling away, but he folded on the turn. So I was like, but I had absolutely nothing as well. So I showed him there and he was just like, you're an idiot. But yeah, so I won the bet and then made a deep run in the tournament. It was really fun. That tournament goes 6 max as well, which is my favorite game with on the final couple of days. So yeah, it was really cool. There was made the final table actually with James Keys, like well-known UK, blast from the past. And Patrick Antonius is on the final table as well, and I tried to bluff him. That was my big downfall. Tried to fight. To be fair, he tanked for a couple of minutes with trips, so it couldn't have been that bad a bluff. So I was trying to get him to fold a little bit of a worse hand than that. But so it was believable. But yeah, that was where it all started going wrong for me. And but still, it was a great score and an amazing experience. And my friends were there watching and stuff, so it gave me the live poker bug and made me want to play more.
You said 2011 was probably the breakout year for yourselves. When you go to the World Series, you've just said that 6 max is probably your best game. 3rd out of 1,378 for 271, and also cashed in the 5k 6 max, finishing 11th. Incredible scores, and then 12 days later, so these 3 events are just going on and on and on. You just missed out on a bracelet, 2nd out of 474 in the 6 max 10k. 3 massive scores, but obviously the bracelet and the runner up. Was that a highlight low at the time?
No, definitely a highlight. Like the bracelet didn't like. Obviously, it would have been nice, but it didn't mean as much to me then as it would a couple of years later, kind of thing. Like, I was just happy to finally, I've been going every year and sort of losing money and then having to get it back online afterwards, and now like have like the buzz of the final table, all your friends watching, all the British Rail chanting. It was just I just wanted to do well and not go out first on the final table, make it deep. And the first one, the 2.5k 6 max came third, was just that was, I think, like one of the first rails where everyone was doing shoe bombs and just drinking, which like to anyone who doesn't know is drinking beer.
There.
Yeah, drinking beer out of the shoe and going crazy. And I remember actually had like kind of fucked me over on one hand because we were 3 left, and I played this hand where I was in the 9 seat and the guy I was playing was in the 1 seat. I don't know why we didn't all move around. But I couldn't really see him in the hand, which didn't really bother me because like live poker, I kind of wanted to hide anyway. Still at this stage, I wasn't looking for reads on my opponents. And I've opened ace-2 blind on blind, and he's called, and I was kind of short step, and it came king 5-4, and so I got gut shot, and I bet, and he raised. And to me at the time as well, it didn't really make much sense. I felt like he was weak, and I was like, okay, whatever. If he's got king, he's got king. I got an ace or 3 to hit. So I shoved all in, and he tanked for ages. So I'm like, okay, he would have called already if he had a king. So I thought it was going to fold for sure. And like the rails chanting, and then like out of nowhere, there's like a big cheer. So I wasn't even looking. I was just staring at the felt, just doing my thing that I did every time. And I just assumed that he'd folded because they were like cheering that I was chipped the pot. And someone said, show the deuce. And I was like, wow, there's not very often you get the chance to do this. So I just sort of looked across.
Okay, guys, I'm going to do this for you guys. I'm going to take these chips off just so you can confirm all of it. So, chips out. Okay, 620. Yeah, guys. Oh, yeah, sorry.
So as you can see, we are back. Fingers crossed, everybody's working on every platform. A couple of issues today, but hope it's not spoilt the fun from the live stream. Fingers crossed we are up and ready. Jay, just having a bit of supper, we'll be back in 10. David Lopez in seat number 1. Seat 3 is Amit Patel. Raggy is in seat number 4, James Clark. Hong The Pham will be in seat number 5. Manwin is in 6. James Baker is in 7. Toby Wilkins is in 8. And 9 is Maz Bako himself. Good evening, Gary. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody is good. Sorry about the little glitches today regarding the connection. That's all it seems to be, is the connection. Nothing else ever seems to be wrong, but the connection has been wavering in and out. But fingers crossed for the last session, because the cards are out. Back to the table. We are at it. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the final session. The numbers are pretty good yet again. Let me tell you, the GUKPT delivers again. Cash games. 7 cash games running with people waiting everywhere. Day 1B has 285. 285. With 127 players left. And the turbo, which has had a bit of short space because of the amount of space in the room with players left. 57 in the turbo. Prize pool £479,600. It'll be over £500,000 again for the 3rd consecutive 1250. We will have over £500,000 in the prize pool for the 3rd 1250 on the trot. Amazing numbers. GUKPT. This is stream 1 of 3. 1 of 3 weekends on the trot. The 1250 is the stream for week 1. If you want to check it out, week 2, there it is. The cash game is a 10.25 PLO 4 card. The names have been out. There is a waiting list already. If you want to get your name on the waiting list, contact the club. The NPL playoff next weekend, next Saturday. 72 players playing out for 21 prizes. 15 of them being 5,000 packages. And then the midi day 2 on the 28th. And then the Wednesday will be the heads up, the 6 max and the haymaker. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday concentrating on the £2,000 grand final. And yet we do have some chips on this table. 84, 86, 78, 60. News from Vegas coming in that Jamie Nixon is currently third in chips out of 56 players remaining in the $800 event number 81 deep stack. And to be fair, he's third in chips and he's only got 30 bigs. Shows how shallow that is. Third in chips with 30 bigs. What have the rest got? He's locked up $3,373, but he doesn't want that. He don't want that. The blinds are 80,000 in Vegas, as we just have a quick check on Jamie Nixon. And there's 3 stacks under 150,000 still in. There you go. Well, any more updates from Jamie Nixon, we will find out for sure. Whatever happens, another good run for Jamie. Top 2 for Raggy. Flush draw for Dave in C1. A bet of 1200 and a call from the flush draw. Queen of clubs on the turn. Raggy bets 3,000. No, sorry, it's not Raggy in the hand, I do apologise. It's James Baker. There's me thinking James Clark's in the hand. Raggy is not in the hand. It's James Baker sat in seat number 7 with a hat turned backwards. Now David in seat 1 hasn't hit the flush, but he's rivered 2 pair. Dave Lopez in seat number 1. He's going to be calling this. 6.5. I think he's going to be calling, and he has indeed. He's called Rivered 2 pair. David Lopez down to 29,000. So while we're in the final session, keep his eye on Grosvenor sponsored Jamie Nixon in Vegas. Katie Swift, Grosvenor sponsored, is still in the mix here. Andy Hill's not played London. He's in the turbo, is he? I apologise. Andy Hills is in the turbo. Made it down Friday evening. He's in the turbo. So Andy Hill's in the turbo. Good old Andy. Good luck to him while he's in the turbo. Any signs of Action Jackson? Paul, don't think he's in the mix, is he? Not seen him. We've not seen Paul Jackson, who did so well in Blackpool. Second place in the Blackpool to Richard Horton. Richard's in the building. I've seen Rich. But not the Action Jackson. Ten Jack 6 flop, 5 of clubs on the turn. Second pair for Raggy, bets 2.5. And that should do it. Indeed it does. Does Raggy play PLO? I'm not too sure actually. But yeah, the cash game next week will be right up his street if he does. Yeah, it would be right up his street if he does. Plays a lot in Nottingham at DTD. Played most of this year's GUKPT as Raggy and done very well.
Ace Queen for Toby. Raises to 2.2. Maz gets out of the way with the King Jack. I'm not sure if Raggy plays PLO. Mick the mod. We've got Maz at the table. Maz chopped the 30-30 Luton last week, I believe. Ace 9-7. 2 club flop. Wow, Toby's in trouble. Flopping top pair. Second nut flush draw backdoor. And Raggy has got bottom 2 here after peeling the 9-7 off on the button. Yeah, Gary, I'm really looking forward to the PLO as well. It'd be first time for myself ever commentating on PLO. I play a lot, but I'm not sure how I'm going to be in the booth. So Raggy just chooses to flat with his bottom pair here, and man, going to have to get out of the way here on the ace high ball with the king queen suited. Yes, we got some nice back doors, but it's just not the best for us. And a 7 on the turn. Raggy is going to love to see that. And the thing is here as well, like there's not too much 7x from Toby's perspective that Raggy's ever going to have on the button here. The only 7x is not going to have any offsuit 7s. It's always going to be suited, and 7-8 of diamonds, 7-9 of spades. What, 2 combos of 7-8 suited, 1 combo of 7-9 suited, 2 combos, 1 combo of ace-7 suited from our perspective. So there's hardly any 7x here for Raggy. So I actually like Toby's decision here to fire and just shove on the river. Raggy's going to 3-bet ace-king here, so we just want to get value from ace-jack, ace-10, maybe some suited ace-x, and Raggy just flatting with his boat, keeping his range wide. But the club on the river, clubs are definitely part of Raggy's range, although there's no 9x of clubs really is the worry, as well as 10-8 of clubs, jack 10 of clubs. The combo draws, I doubt Raggy's just going to call that size on the turn with a bare flush draw, so he's going to need a little something to go with it. So it's hands like jack 10 of clubs, 9x of clubs, 8-10 of clubs here that we're worried about as Toby. But it's a difficult spot for us here, but whether to go for it or to check call. The thing is, what are we trying to adduce from if we check? Well, he is going to check. There's not too much that on this river now that if Raggy does fire that we are ahead of. So actually thinking about it, like a decision to check this one over to Raggy, and if Raggy bets, we just don't beat anything with ace-queen. Ace-jack of Raggy's going to check behind, ace-10 of Raggy's going to check behind. Toby's just praying that Raggy snap checks this one back. He's just praying for it. But as soon as Raggy bets, the ace-queen here, just not beating anything. And we got to come up with some plausible bluffs that Raggy can have, and there's none that I can come up with to mind. Help me out in the chat if you can think of a bluff in this spot after he calls flop, calls turn, and then shoves this club river. Obviously clubs on the turn was a draw. If it was a brick river, clubs would be the bluffs here. 10-8 suited, not going to call that size on the turn. Jack 10 suited, not going to call that size on the turn, unless it's Jack 10 of clubs, which we're behind to anyway. But unless Raggy, he's not even probably going to call a 9 on the turn facing double barrel. So I really am clutching at straws here to find any sort of bluff that Raggy's supposed to have in this scenario here. And it's actually a really good river from us as Toby, because I think now we can get away from it. If it was a offsuit 4, he's probably just going to rip the ace-queen for value, get called by some worse ace-x, because there's not too much 7x out there like we spoke about. Maybe more 7x than most. If Raggy's peeling 9-7 off on the button, I guess we can give him a whole host more 7x combos, but I can't really come up with a bluff here. I think Neil says 10-8 of diamonds is a bluff, but I can't see Raggy calling with an up and down on the turn. I can see him calling it on the flop, but first in the 8k size and on the turn from Toby, I can't see Raggy calling with that. Very, very good fold from Toby there. River actually saved him money. That's an offsuit 4. He's getting stacked for sure. So the fact it was the 4 of clubs, which meant that we now beat nothing, the way the hands played, meant that we could get away from it with the ace queen. Because Raggy's going to check his ace jack and ace 10. He's got no need to go for value with them because they're not getting called by worse. And very nice fold there from Toby. A good one for me to come back to straight after my grub. Hope we're all well in the chat. Good evening. This is day 1B. Yeah, I know, Neil. I know. That's fair. I guess it was just quite. What was it? It was 8k into 14k on the turn. So I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to call 60% sizing on 2 to a flush board with an up and down. He might have done, to be fair. I guess he might have done. It's weird with Raggy on the feature table. He mixes it up. Sometimes he plays pretty snug. Other times he's in there with dubious holdings. But unbeknown to Toby, it's actually a great river for him. Was the 4 of clubs was probably one of the best rivers in the deck, other than an ace, obviously, to give him the check mark. But regarding the 7x, thinking about it, if he is peeling 9-7 off, he is going to have a whole lot more 7x combos in that particular scenario. Oi, oi, Spahand is the man. £200 satellite into a 2k seat for the grand final. We will see you next week, sir. So David opened pre-flop here, and he's going to double barrel here. Just bet him range, like ace king, ace queen, ace jack. All these hands we're going to take this line with. So very nice double barrel from him there with David. We can fold out some 4x, deuce x, some gut shots that big blind's going to call with on the flop. And we've got the strong ace x in that situation more than our opponent. So just went in with the range, no equity, double barrel, and does get the job done. Yeah, I know, Span. It's great promotion. Good luck in that as well. The last longer promo for the Saturday winners for the 2K. Donate's back. Saw him first session of the day on our featured table. Comes to join us for the last. Straight into the action. Raised to 1.7 with the pocket eights. And man, ace king on the button here. Incoming 3-bet. It's going to be an interesting spot for Donate once it comes back round to him, because he's working with just over 40 bigs, 42 bigs to be precise. And we have opened EP, and man has opted to 3-bet. Wow, big sizing from man. This is really, really big sizing from man here. He's opted for near 4.5x in position on the opener, which is a very, very large size in this sort of dynamic. Like maybe if he has the assumption or has played with Donati before that he's going to peel too wide, he might size up a little, but works on that occasion. But just think maybe we need to size down with our 3-bet as man there. Obviously we'll have reasons for opting for that sizing. We'll hope he does. Takes the pot down nonetheless, gets the Donate to fold a hand we were flipping against. And Span said to Jamie Nixon down to the last 46. Let's go, Jamie. Yeah, I think in a normal scenario, Gary, we would have seen Donate pill the 8s, but like a normal 3x, just sub 3x sizing for the free betting position. But as soon as man sized up to 4.5x, maybe that was the decision and decisive factor for Donate to get out of the way with the 8s because of the sizing he was faced with.
Oi, tight back. I just thought you faced the water. That's all. That's what you're on. You know what it's like. Jamie's comes down to 46. You want some? Yeah, I can imagine how pretty shallow it is when like there's somebody still in with like 2 bigs. He was third in chips and his average stack was 30 bigs. Wow. Indeed. We'll keep an eye on it while we're on the last home run of this event. We've got just over 90 minutes for our day 1B to conclude. I do think by the time day 1B finishes, we could have £500,000 in the prize pool. 285 in day 1B. A further 61 in the turbo. Amazing. Currently standing in total of 441 entries and a prize pool of £485,000.
Don't forget, guys, as well, social media. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Grosvenor Poker, and live stream coverage YouTube and Twitch /GUKPT.
Yeah, obviously there's another tournament in London. There's Vegas going on. People will start to travel less because it's London as well. You don't get many northerners coming down and playing in London. It is what it is. But the GUKPT hits the Vic and players turn up. Evening, Nick. Aye, London Village, not as big as Blackpool. It is amazing that for the third event on the trot, we'll get over $500,000 in the prize pool. Three events on the trot, absolutely outstanding.
What's David up to here? And Hong sitting with middle set, and they're going to be faced by Razor. David here. I'm just praying she flats here, Tower. We have to just flat this hand. It's just so strong.
And does.
Nice to see from the lady in seat 5.
90 diamonds on the turn.
So the 7-3 does pick up a gut shot here after defending in the big blind. And action still on David here. And we've got to be a bit worried once we raise flop. Doubt Hong's going to be calling with some ace highs. So once she calls our raise on the flop, got to be aware that she's going to have like at least a 10 in this spot. You'd expect. Maybe get sticky sometimes with pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 7s, these type of holdings. But David firing again here with 7-3 of clubs on the 9 of diamonds. And yeah, this is really good from Hong. Just flatting, keeping these bluffs in there. 5 of diamonds on the river. And now it's down to whether David wants to unload the clip and empty The barrel, is it coming in? It would probably be an all-in if it is. It's so hard to bluff shove for your tournament life. And he's going to get his arm snapped off if he does, because Hong's sitting there quietly with a set, and it's coming in. She's played it to perfection. Should be snapping it. She's going to double check she's got sixes.
Yep.
She sees the sixes. There's the snap. And that.
And he taps the table with the old 7-eye.
Got him. Played it perfectly. Didn't panic, but the ball got a bit wetter on the turn. Just kept flattened, kept all the bluffs in there, and got her reward on the river. Nice pick up for Hong.
David Lopez. He's out the door. So Nick, I don't know if you've been tuned in all day, Nick, but next weekend, next Friday, there's a 10:25 PLO live streamed from 5 p.m. until midnight, 7 hours of a 10:25 PLO. Yep. Fingers in the cookie jar, as they say.
Raggy opening the King 7 suited. He's got some chips, so loosening up his opening range, but man, with Ace King suited in the low jack. Saw him 3-bet to 4.5x in a similar scenario a few hands back. I'm interested to see if he's going to opt for the same sizing. Mixing it up with a flat. Comes in for a flat. And now Toby, ace-5 suited, 25 big blinds in the cut-off.
Not in.
Joe, I love it, Tower. Not enough people take these shove spots like Raggy. Maybe throughout the day, if he's been opening a lot, we saw him peel the 9-7 off.
Yeah.
If we think Raggy's going to be opening too wide, then I actually love this shove from Toby. I think this is a really, really good play from him for his stack size and the dead money in there and hand selection. I think this is really, really nice from Toby. But unfortunately, man's just woke up with Ace King. He's flatted the Ace King and trapped, but not taking anything away from the play. And he's drawing dead now to running wheel or running fives. It's going to be what we're going to need to survive.
Love to see a 4 on the turn.
And that is dead. That is dead. But you may be watching, guys. You may have tuned in. You may not be familiar with poker that much, or you just play every now and again in case you're thinking, how's that good? He's just put it in with ace-5 against Ace King. That can't be good, surely. He's behind, but got to look at it over the long run. And more often than not, that's just going to get through. And the times it doesn't, the best time to be caught bluffing is pre-flop. Equities run finest pre. Ace-5 suited, a great hand as well to do it with. We're always going to have 30% against any hand in the deck, except aces, which we have removal from.
Are we going to have a final session like yesterday's? We've lost 2 in 2 minutes.
Especially if Raggy's been opening a lot. We don't know how Raggy's been playing on the outer tables, but if he's been active, he's been opening lots of hands, then even more reason to put it in. I really like it. They're the pots when you're short. Them little shove spots where you're going to make some chips. Unfortunately, just on that occasion, we ran into it, which is going to happen sometimes. You're not always going to get it through. You're going to run into it sometimes. It's poker. But just keep making the right plays, and hopefully someday you'll get your reward.
So next week, cash game, NPL playoff, the midday 2, 10:25 PLO. at the ready.
Looking forward to that one.
3 weekends of live streaming to finish the amazing season of the GUKPT. And we conclude with the grand final of the 2K. Adam!
Wilco!
The Wilco, I don't know if he's still in the background. I was just going to ask him if we were talking about you and Jones earlier. And when we went to the piano bar in New York, and he tried to grab hold of Morg and paid $50 to sing. How long did he last?
I went up and paid $50 to sing. I paid $50 for him to sing. He lasted 3 seconds. Somebody paid $100 to get him off. $100 to get him off.
True story.
Was he that bad?
No.
No, he's actually a good singer.
The problem is he is a good singer. It's just that anybody grabs the mic and it's straight off.
I was there. We were in the bar, right? I've got all these dollar bills on. I jump up and I'm dancing on the bar. And the barman says, you can't dance here, mate. So I went, just do it. That was a great night, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. Wilco's wandering about, so he must be out. But that is what we're live streaming right there. The 3 weekends on the trot. We started at the top, which is now. In the middle is next week, and then right at the bottom is the final of the last event, the 2K Grand Final. It's just going to be a fantastic 3 weekends. But if you like cash, we've never done it before, and we've chosen 10.25 PLO. You know what it's like, just 10.25.
Lovely turn here for the 8-6.
So 2 pair against
Top pair.
Hong's was top pair, and then Raggy's River top pair.
How has Man checked this back on the turn? That's the more interesting question. How on earth has Man found the check back on the turn here with 8-6 on this board? It's worked out perfection because Raggy snagged an ace on the end, but so many bad river cards for us there that kill our action, and obviously some counterfeit outs in there as well. But wow, surprised to see Man check back the turn, but it worked out perfectly in that situation for him. So Donate with Ace King in the cutoff. Going to be raising it up after Man opted to limp the Ace-8 off under the gun. I want to see more of Man. I want to see more of this man. Seems like a very fun player to have at the table. Old Man in seat 6. It's just nice when we get to see not the standard poker and people mixing it up, involved with hands in spots they shouldn't be, and always good entertainment for everyone watching. And Hong here, Ace King, coming in for the cold 4. Love the sizing as well, sizing spot on here around this remit is where we want to be making it in this particular spot. And action back on Donate now. Donate with 35 bigs behind, in they go. Hong will make the call.
Chop it up, no dramas. Well, she's not called yet. There's Hong Thai.
I think she will, Tara. She realises that the night shop for sub 40 bigs here.
Yeah. So she makes a call. Hopefully no dramas with the Ace King against Ace King. Evening, Alex, watching on YouTube. Come on, the Baker. So we chop it.
Chop it up. So chop pot there, what we were expecting.
Pesky's in the building, watching on Facebook. How you doing, Pesky? Sean Lewis, good luck to Raggy. He's had a great season now, Raggy.
Aces for Rapinda. Takes a seat, gets the boost.
Might get a call here from Donato with the King Queen suited.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get a call at least, Tower. Can't see Donate firing this one into the muck.
So he does call the 2.3. Round to Amit with the pocket fives. Calls as well. One of the fives in the muck for Amit, unfortunately. And Man will come along with the King 9 suited. So four-way action. Two, three, four, flop. For the fives, it's good.
Yeah, it looks very good for Amit, but gonna get himself in a bit of trouble. Man's got flush draw here as well, Tower. This is gonna be action town. Rapinda continues with the aces, fires 6.5, sizes up a little bit because we've gone four-way and it's a bit of a wet board, so I don't mind it sizing up on this particular board texture in a multi-way situation. And Amit here with the fives, not going to be going anywhere, overpair to the board, up and down straight draw as well. So Amit's going to be continuing, and that's going to give Man a direct price to make the call. He's not going to be folding the King 9 of clubs, 2 overcards and the second nut flush draw in this spot.
So just call the 6.5.
Great,
yeah, pairs have won the turn.
Great turn this for the aces of Rapinda. Shouldn't be any deuce X out there except deuce, ace, deuce of clubs, king, deuce of clubs. Like deuce X of clubs that Man can have in the big blind. That's the only deuce X we're ever worried about. So really good turn for us here as Rapindo, and he just moves all in for 21k. And now we're in a bit of a spot here as a Mitt with the fives. Asked for a count. Like, what's Rapindo going to bet into 3 players with, and then return? He's got all the stronger overpairs than us, and he's not just going to randomly do this with like an ace king, ace queen. So it probably have to be a club draw. So this is a difficult spot here for a Mitt. We are ahead of. We still got man behind us actually as well. Even more reason to fold. But club draws or a better overpair. That's our worry. That's what we got to weigh up. He's either going to have a hand like ace X of clubs, even king X of clubs can be in there, obviously some club draws and overs, or he's going to have a better overpair. So really, really tough spot for a Mitt. But with man behind, who's going to have a more strong hands on this board, calling out the big blind, probably lean more towards fold because of that. Still got man to worry about behind us. Does look a lot like the overpair, the way that Rapinda's chose to play this one. It's just never going to be like a random airball bluff. It's going to be a bluff with a fair amount of equity. So we're still going to be needing to fade 2 overs and a club if it was a flush draw that we're up against. So it's only going to have 60-65% against those type of hands, or we're going to be needing to hit a 5-6 or ace from our perspective. Just taking those things into account. Hopefully we'll see a Mitt make the fold, and then it's over to man whether he wants to gamble with his 2 overs and flush draw. But Mitt rightly in the tank here, does have an overpair and up and down, but I think we just got to give Rapinda credit for the bigger overpair here. The times that he does have a flush draw with 2 overs, it's just nice hand. You got us off the best of it, but you still had lots of equity against our.
He'd love to see the river, but he
lets it
ain't going to get there.
And now it's down to whether man wants to have a little gamble here.
No gamble. I know it's 21k, he's got 118, leaves him with 97 if he loses, but I don't think he's gambling. He could already be drawing dead.
Does seem like he likes to have fun at the tables, man. From what I've seen from him already, he likes to get involved. Saw him limp the ace-8 off under the gun. I think he, just from that play alone, definitely probably a recreational who just here, see how he gets on, enjoys the game obviously. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did put it in tower for that reason. I do find when recreational players do have a lot of chips and have the flush draws and overs, they do like to put it in even on the turn, but makes a good fold there.
Any rabbit comes about.
Good little lay down. Yeah, we'd love to see the river.
Once again, players in turbo flying you now. Just over 1 minute remaining on your break. Please start retaking your seats. That's all. Ones.
You know, if you play the turbo,
Yep.
do you have a turbo break?
Yeah.
As in like 5 minutes instead of 15?
No, you have a normal break. I thought you meant you get a break. Of course you
So
don't.
so you have 20-minute levels and a 15-minute break? That's like having played an hour clock and having 50 minutes. Go on, asking for a friend. It's a genuine question.
It can't
If
be
you
a
play a
genuine
turbo,
question.
you only play 20-minute levels, do you get a 15-minute break? Or is it a turbo brake?
Viewers and players, we now tell them live. We come back with a score blind of 200, big blind 500, big blind and 500. That's 200, 500, 500. This will be the last few levels for tonight. That's 4 more levels for tonight. Viewers, please begin.
$66 in the turbo. 66.
It's good for a turbo.
286 in the Flight 1B, the 60-minute clock. 286.
Yeah, so James choosing to just call with the queens. To just call with the ace deuce on Jack 3 deuce after picking up a pair. Got a wheel draw to go with his bottom pair now. Hong actually has it on the button. Legitimate hand. So hard to give credit for a hand on the button. And makes a good laydown. Maz gonna open the King 7 suited under the gun. That's a misclick from our action tracker. Donate is definitely not all in.
Just rewound it. Ace, Queen, 5, 2 spades.
And this putt's always going the way of Maz with
First
the
punt from Maz.
betting lead 3. Span keeping us updated on Mr. Nixon. 37 left. Jamie's got 1.6 million at big blind 120k. He's going to need a double at some point.
That's about 13 bigs then.
Yep. Spot on with the maths. So ace 8 for Raggy opening this one under the gun +2. Rapinda with ace jack in the small. Not going to be going anywhere. Going to make the call.
5, 7, 9 all clubs. Ace of clubs redraw for Rapinda. Gutter ball to the straight flush for Raggy.
Yeah, picks up another straight draw on this 10 turn. Jack or 6 would now make Raggy a straight. Where's the 6 of clubs one time for the viewers?
6 of clubs, baby. It's live. It's still there.
Well, it's the Jack of spades, so Raggy rivering a straight and Rapinda with top pair here, and Raggy going to be coming in for some value now after getting this river for him. Fires 6.5.
Yeah, gets the volume
Pinder makes the call.
to see the 8. I like how Raggy doesn't look at the player, doesn't look at the pot, just puts his bet in, stares into space, waits for somebody to call. He either wins or he loses. Yeah, there's plenty of dans in, Jay. Just let us know which one and we'll find out for you. But it definitely won't be Negreanu.
Definitely not.
Even though we wish it was. Desperate he is. The Charlton. The Charlton one. We will try and find out for you as we are closing in on the end of play. We will find out right now. Jay has just headed off for a direct chip count for Dan Charlton. Wonder what Macclesfield game is going to be missing tomorrow if he makes day 2. Loves his Mac Town, does our Dan. The Northwest Counties League now. About level 9 of football. But he absolutely loves it. There's no Towers treble just yet, Gary, but we have been working on it, studying hard. Ten, 4, 3, 2 diamonds. Check call. King of hearts, check call. Raggy gets out of the way. It's checked on the river. Raggy over 100,000, doing well. Maz on 83. Yeah, he's a top lad, he's done. Top lad. Love him to run really, really deep in his UKPT. It doesn't look like it most Saturdays, does it? But we do, honest. We do check form and stats and everything like that. We just get unlucky. It might be a case of just backing the same 3 teams eventually. And for you lucky punters out there, you've got 3 weeks on the trot of Towers treble. For all you lucky guys out there that want a bit of a punt. Incoming. They won't be in Towers treble tomorrow, but Rotherham United half time, full time to good bet tomorrow. Should be about 11 to 10 maybe, half time, full time, maybe 6 to 4. Dan Charlton has got 40,000. 40 blind 40. 40,000 Dan Charlton. Which, if he bagged 40,000 up tomorrow for day 2, would just be over 30 bigs. Keep the same teams home and away, and you will be up at the end of the season. Like that, John. We just want to win it, John. We've only had 2 this year. 2 we've had, 2. One of them was off stream. Queen on the turn for a bit of action from Amit. There's Hong Thi. Hits the 9 on the river. But the Queen will play. We've got a bit of showdown. We show the Queen, and Hong Thi folds the Queen. And the 8-9. Yeah, I do like to go for a bit of value. Everybody can pick the 1 to 2s and the 1 to 3s and the 4 to 7s and all that. I don't tend to go for them. We do try and go for a little bit of value. I do think Rotherham United half-time, full-time tomorrow, if it's above even money, will be a good price. Obviously not checked tonight, but that's what I do fancy. But he won't be in the Towers treble tomorrow, and the home team.
Busy out there.
It sounds it, to be fair.
Very busy.
It sounds it.
Ace 10 for Donate in the cutoff. Nice one to open. Well, it's actually been a hijack open here. So Donate is going to get out of the way with the Ace 10. Unaware of what David's got in the hijack. It's been him that has raised. And Raggy's called in the small, so another slight little error here, and Hong's going to get out of the way with a 7-4. So it's actually seat 1, who is Dave, and seat 4 Raggy that are involved in this pot.
So Raggy is in the hand.
Yeah, and seat 1, sorry,
apologies.
Dave has busted. Unaware.
I think seat 1. If he'd just come to the table, seat 1, we won't have had time to input his name. That's the problem we have. And if we don't get the name of the player coming into seat 1, the action tracker can't see the player coming to the table because he's nowhere to be seen. He's in a cupboard in the back.
The Queen 8 of Diamonds was the hand.
We know it's trips against trips.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And C1 gets eliminated.
First hand.
He's only been here a minute and a half.
Well,
Hang fire.
Sit down, get back up off your pop.
Raggy.
Trips v trips.
The reason that's just happened is that when a player comes to the table and the action tracker doesn't know, he can't put any bets in for the person that he doesn't know the name of because he's not in the seat. If the dealer doesn't tell the action tracker that a new player has come to the table because the action tracker can't see anything, then it becomes a bit of a difficulty. So apologies about that, but we know Raggy has just taken one out and has built his stack up to about 140,000. Run like Raggy, says Spand.
Yeah, peeled the queen eight suited in the small.
So we were going to ask player one's name, but there's no need. He's
No
out.
name, he's gone.
Out the door. Which is why Simon is now going to have to work out Raggy's stack, because it's we'll need to know Raggy's chip stack. But back to the game. But that's why that happens, if anything like that happens, when a player comes to the table. If you don't get his name in time and he gets sat down, you don't know he's in a hand and you can't give him any of the pot. So Raggy's on 120. Last 50 minutes, 55 minutes, last hour of the live stream. One more level to go and this is it.
Blind's
It's
gone
just
up.
started. Just started the last level. Let's do it. Numbers are insane yet again. Just shy of £500,000 in the prize pool. If we get there, it'll be the third event on the trot. Prize pool currently stands at £495,000.
Raggy on fire. Had a good year, old Raggy, as well. He's had some results, some decent final tables. I think he's got a couple of wins in there as well.
He normally just plays at his local club at Dustle Dawn and doesn't travel around much. I think we need to see him on a regular basis because the guy's got skills.
I haven't seen much of Maz this session, but he's about to get involved because he's got kings.
I have a secret set of skills.
Facing the Under the Gun Open from Rapinda.
What I do is take all your chips. What I will do is find you and take them off you.
Instead of take 'em, call it take 'em.
The new film starring James Raggy Clark. Take 'em.
It's a difficult spot here for Rapinda. Sizing from Maz perfectly fine. Only thing is, like, Rapinda's opened under the gun and we've been 3-bet +1, so Maz repping a strong range himself here. So in a bit of a predicament here as Rapinda with the ace-queen, just because the positions at the table, working with 33 bigs. Like, if this was LP v LP, could just potentially 4-bet rip this one, but I think he's obviously wary about Maz 3-betting his Under the Gun Open, which is fair. It's just going to flat. Call in for an extra 6.5. Meaning we're working now with about 1.2 SPR. Oh, and it's trouble in paradise. Queen 8 deuce.
Maybe trouble.
This is going to
ahead.
be the end of Rapinda, and Maz is going to snap it off, and Rapinda's going to see he's going to need an ace or a queen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Maz Baco's going to be up over 100k. Maz chopping the 30-30 in Luton last week. He's on form.
Stands up as if he's behind.
Can he find the hold here?
He does at the moment. We need an ace or a queen, or we lose one. We have lost Rapinda. Top on a flop and gone. Maz 120,000, Man 116,000, Raggy 121. There's some chips on this table.
Well, last night we had 300k, 200k, 200k, 160k. It was crazy yesterday, the final session. These look like short stacks on here compared to yesterday. Alizini at the bottom of the picture, sporting the old Spurs hoodie. Like it. Give that man the chips. Oh, is he coming over?
No way. Didn't realise you were a fancy dress comp.
Oh, you be nice about the Spurs. I wouldn't have minded that comment 2 months ago. We're a different team now. Or we should be.
Look, let me just tell you, Harry Kane's not playing San Marino tomorrow.
That is true.
Don't expect miracles.
Yes, Alan, Katie is still in the mix.
Yeah, did you see any of the chip counts while you were wandering around?
I saw
just
Dan's,
blindfolded, straight in, blinkered.
Just saw Dan's, and that was it. Dan sat near the where the waters are supposed to be, so it was easy trip for me. And I looked at Dan's, and I should have really had it. To be fair, you're right. I should have had a little glance around, see if there's anyone else.
As much as I enjoy the whole day for acting, I'm just logging in for the final session tomorrow. That's when all the action is.
Oh, there'll be action all day tomorrow.
Yes.
All ins, calls. It's day 2.
Alan Budge says Jack Oliver did great. He certainly did. Jamie Nixon's doing great as well at the minute. He's in the final 37 of a bracelet event.
33 now, Tower. 33 remain. He is 13 of 33.
Awesome.
Yeah. Imagine that little bracelet for our Grosvenor sponsored pro.
Can't believe we're going to be live streaming from Vegas on Sunday. Take the kit. We'll remote in. Because Jamie's bound to ring us.
Yeah.
Bound to. Yet says what's up top. We don't know yet because you can still buy in. The turbo's going on. Day 1B is still going on, and you can buy into the beginning of day 2 tomorrow before 11:45. So we will know tomorrow by about 2 o'clock.
I reckon around 150k. Approximately, that would be my guess.
Yeah. We're going to have another prize pool over $500,000 for the 3rd event on the trot. We didn't think it was possible in Luton. We certainly didn't think it was possible in Blackpool. Smashed them both, and London is going to deliver as well.
Yeah, 200k up top. For
is that what it is?
Yeah, for the comp Jamie's in, and a bit of change, I believe. Yes, Gary. Are you all right over there, sir?
How big a disadvantage is it to buying in on a day 2?
It's for playable stack still, but I think it's just best to start at the start of a day 1 because you get certain players, like I always say, that won't be there at the start of day 2. Certain individuals that you can get some chips from, some easy chips from. I think just playing the whole day. If you're doing the right things, it's going to be more beneficial for you. You're going to see more hands. I wouldn't say it's a complete disadvantage, but I think players that have played the full day 1, they've obviously got a chance to chip up to 300k yesterday, our chip leader. You don't have that when you're buying in for day 2. You come in with your 20k and you've got to run it from there. And it's a lot more high variance as well, Gary. Variance increases a lot because you're going to come in with, is it 12.5 big blinds? 16 big blinds. You're going to come in with 16 big blinds, and variance is just going to increase because of that.
The buying for this event, Alan, is $12.50. We are $500,000, 1100 plus the juice, 1100 plus 150, pretty standard. Well, unless you're in Vegas, it'll be 10 plus 250. But it's not. We're in England. And he says, can't wait for Goliath.
10 plus 250. Imagine people would actually buy into that comp.
It will be. That's what it'll be in Vegas. Easy. Easy.
I thought you. What did you talk about? $2.50.
There was a There was a $75 comp in the Treasure Island that we all used to play on a night time. 10 o'clock, get the beers in, get the rounds in. Basically, a lot of a crapshoot. $75 in. It was 55 plus 20. No word of a lie.
Outrageous.
And all you did was get the beers in and drink as much as you could for the 20.
Yeah. That's what you would be doing. It's Raggy gonna free bet the 3-do suited. Oh, it's not Raggy. It's other James Baker gonna free bet the 3-do suited. Fair play. Gets it through.
We don't know when Joker's Wild is yet for Goliath. Any updates in the next 3 weeks while we're down in London, we'll let you know. But at this moment in time, we don't know any scheduled dates for Goliath. We just know the dates of Goliath. You and Nicholas on the live rail for Jamie now. Well, he's the mascot to take with you.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want Ewan.
He is the mascot to take with you. Has he still got the pink hoodie on?
I did notice for day 9, the free hand of the FT, he didn't have the pink hoodie on. I saw him with it on the other.
Well, hopefully he was in the laundrette.
Yeah, hopefully. The famous pink hoodie. So James just opted to limp the A6 suited here now, and Raggy gets a free one with his ace-5. Going to check his option and flop best on 7-4-5 2 spades, but James has flopped monstrous here. He has the second best hand, but it's just a monster draw for James here. And this King of Hearts on the turn, want to see him double barrel this versus big blind range. It's just got not every, but so many combinations of hands in there. And after Raggy calls flop as well, difficult for him to have a king unless it's King X of spades or King 6. Yeah, Spand, everyone's on the Rigby trade. Nice double barrel there from James against Raggy. James Baker in 7, James Clark in 4.
Around about 45 minutes to go until the end of the session and the end of the day. Still jumping the turbo if you want. 71 runners in the turbo. There are 97 remaining in the main flight B out of 287. Player coming into C1. We need to know your name.
He was sat next to Donate earlier on the first feature tape.
Indeed, he's his twin brother.
So Mitt raises to 2.2. Hong got a lovely hand to defend here in the big blind. King 10 of hearts is against a button open though. I was going to say against a button open she might choose to free bet this. Has she free bet tower? I didn't see her move, but the graphics just said that she's free bet to 7.5k. The dealer's looking at a Mitt here as well.
That looks about right.
Yeah, so fair play to Huang. Incorporating this one into a free bet out of the big blind, opting for just sub 4x, so nice big sizing. And wow, gets a Mitt to fold ace 10 on the button.
Tell you what.
Wow, how's a Mitt folded here? Button versus big blind.
Is it too early to say this lady's going to cash?
She's playing well, Tower. She's playing well. Her and Rene today, two ladies that we've seen on the feature, but played very, very well. But I'm surprised Mitt folded the ace-10 there. Opening button with ace-10. Obviously being free bet alarm bells do go off, but we've got to understand the button versus big blind dynamic. In that scenario, just letting it go. So Jamie, King Queen, 27 big blinds, like to see him open this one. Just come to the table. Raises to 2,000. And Jack 10 suited for Huang here. Hong gonna be peeling this one in the small. Lovely hand to just see a flop with great playability. We're going to hit a lot of flops with Jack 10 suited. Such a beautiful hand. I think we can all agree on that one. 10-6-5, 2 heart boards. So Hong flopping top pair, man with flush draw and bottom pair, and Jamie just with 2 overcards here with the King Queen. Might not opt to continue this board tower. Might choose to check this one behind, but it's going to fire. I've been called in 2 spots, and on the 10-6-5, interesting board. There's going to be so many straight draws out here that are going to peel once, as well as obviously all the pairs that can get involved as well. 10x, 6x, 5x not going to be folding. A whole host of straight draws on 10-6-5, but do have some good turn cards for our hand with the King Queen. 6 of diamonds on the turn, so Hong still with the best of it. And expect both players to check this one over to Jamie, who now shouldn't be double barreling here into 2 players. Should be white flag territory. We've been called in 2 spots with our C-bet, and this 6 can definitely hit the big blinds range. As well as that, we're not going to be folding out of 10x, which Hong can have in the small. So after some deliberation, does check it behind, and a man gets the check mark. 3 of hearts rolling off on the river, and Hong here opts to check, and man going to be wanting to come in for value with his jack high flush. Got a boat blocker in there as well, make us feel a little bit more comfortable. And Jamie just going to fold.
Indeed he does.
Now Hong with a decision here. This is a difficult spot for us because man may choose to rep this card. He knows he can have all the heart combinations in the big blind. He's going to have a lot of flush draws. She just doesn't even think about it for more than 10 seconds, Tower. Just lets the 10 go.
Nice.
Top pair into the mark. Correct decision again from the lady in seat 5.
Gary says, how many seats will the turbo produce? It's not a satellite. The turbo's an actual flight of the GUKPT. It's just on a shortened clock of 20 minutes. As it currently stands, there were 71 players played, and there are 37 players making it through to day 2 as we stand right now. So that's a turbo. It's not a satellite, it's a proper flight. It's just on a quickened clock. A reduced clock of 20 minutes. And on the Poker Live app, the 2 initials, surname and the first letter given. Yes, it is. I don't know the reason for it, but yes, it is. How many runners so far? In total, 453. 453.
A little spoiler alert there.
That could be half an hour.
Yeah. Little spoiler for everyone.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that. Sorry about that.
Coming over
you
the
might have heard that. 453, 71 in the turbo, 287 today. Amazing numbers yet again.
Jack 5 deuce, 2 hearts. So top pair for Ben, 1 overcard to omits 10s, and James with bottom pair backdoor flush draw.
So what do you think every hand takes 90 seconds?
I can't remember the Blackpool total. I know we got 500 or over 500 entries. So 3 of diamonds on the end, going to give Ben the check mark, and doesn't choose to value bet check. Going to take that one from a mitt.
124k is a big stack. Doesn't seem a big stack after yesterday, but that's what it is. Yeah, that's 100 big blinds for tomorrow. Mad Turk's wandering about with a new, looks like a new receipt and a new set of chips. Well, the Turk.
So folds round to Hong. She gets out the way, and Man got a lovely one to open on the button. The King Queen suited. Raises 3x. Raise and take.
So around about 45 minutes to go until the end of today. So the final 45 minutes around that, the clock's going to be paused at 25 past. We know, as we heard, it'll be 6 hands at the end. Another cracking day. I think we're 2 buy-ins short of $500,000. It looks like 2 buy-ins short of $500,000. Oh! 1 buy-in short.
1 buy-in short.
1 buy-in short of another £500,000 prize pool.
Is that 3 on the trot? 3 on the trot.
First time ever. 3 on the trot. First time ever. This should be much ado about nothing.
Yeah, well, Hong working with...
They're pretty deep, to be fair.
Yeah,
so.
they are. They are. And obviously Raggy's not going to be calling once he gets back round to him. But Maz here against Hong's particular stack size, probably happy to 4-bet get this in. Hong playing 57 bigs. Maybe not. It depends how he perceives Hong to play. If he thinks Hong's going to be more on the tighter side. Wow, Maz Bako, where's that going? Into the muck?
What's happening there?
Wow,
I'm not gambling, he says.
Ace King just folds to a 3-bet. Fair enough. Doesn't want to get involved in the small. Maybe gave Hong credit to be nearer the top of her range. Don't know if he picked up on something, but just let the Ace King go. Maz weren't putting a penny in there.
News on Jamie Nixon. 10 big blinds at the final 27 redraw. Come on, Jamie, get it spun. What's he guaranteed now? How many drinks? How many blocks of ice can he buy? Come on.
Let's have a look. 27 left,
right.
6,558.
That's a few blocks of ice.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of blocks of ice, Tower. What is it? 187 blocks of ice to make it. 186.
There you go.
That can't be right. $3.50 for 1 cube of ice. That is robbery. Absolute robbery.
It's just bizarre that Vegas stoops to a new low yet again. Because now Vegas have done it, somebody else will do it. Nines, 8s and 7s. You don't see that very often.
4, 5, 6 flop. Jamie's in, or should be in. Yep.
The triangle's in. And there's the 5, 6 for the 7, 8, 9.
And Hong's probably just going to ISO here, Tower. 9's facing this 20 big blind shove. We've got man behind us, but I just expect us.
Is it ever right just to call with something like
I think
mid-pair?
with 9's here, I'd just be happy to shove. Like, doubt man's going to be trapping too often. I know we saw him flat the Ace King earlier as a trap pre-flop to a single open, but I think we're just going to see Hong go with this. Because what are we going to put in our third of our stack to fold if man then sticks it over us? I don't think so. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw Hong come in for the ISO here with the pocket 9's versus Jamie's 20 big blind shove. She's just going to call. And now man.
Yes, just elects to call.
With the 8s.
So you know that bring him across?
I don't think so. Especially once he postures like this, it kind of gives about a bit of information about our hand away.
Did you say it should always be an ISO?
Not always, so I wouldn't say always. It's a close one. It's a close one. It's just how often we think man's ever going to have traps there, and if we don't think he's ever got traps, then I'm just going to be ripping most of the time. But to the flop anyway. 7's at risk, 9's for Hong.
No, 7's only one left in the deck, and it's not, so 7's are going to be out the door. Oh, chase, twitch. Well, I think it's a good thing, if that's correct. I think it's a good thing, and then we can put to bed the idea of somebody having to buy ice. If that's true, I don't mind that. Even though paying for ice is a story, you don't want it to be. So if that's right, chase, Twitch, then good. Because that just seemed ridiculous. Final 40 minutes for the team. Aaron McMordy, how we doing, Aaron? How come the Midi Main Day 1 sees a turbo when there's no other comps on that Saturday? Should just be a normal flight, because there's a normal flight on Day 1A and Day 1B. So they give the turbo an option as well. People like to play turbos, as 160 players in Blackpool wanted to play a turbo. 80 odd players here want to play a turbo. You got the option there. You got the option of playing a longer day or a turbo flight, and the turbo flight is a very popular flight. If it's just unfortunate that that's the only one you can play, then that's just the way it falls, unfortunately.
King 7 Deuce Rainbow, one of the driest board textures you can get. Not a single draw out there, king high. And first sign of aggression, probably going to take this one down. And Ben, the original free better, incorporating a free bet bluffing with the ace 4. And doesn't need to go big with his continue size on this board, opts for 5.1, so south of third, perfectly fine. And man here with the ace 10 out position, just going to have to let it go. Does have the best of it, but not much going on for us here. Might see him float, maybe with one diamond on board, but King 7 Deuce Rainbow here, it's not the best of flops for us as man.
That raise?
It's going to raise to 15k.
15,000.
And this is like a raise you don't see almost ever, Tower. You hardly ever see a raise on like a king high rainbow board. It's just something you're not going to see that often. Like against the three better as well, he's definitely got ace king. He's so ace king heavy here, so actually coming for a raise here, it's very optimistic. It's going to work in this particular occasion. But what we're repping here is, man, like what are we supposed to have? We're going to flat all our sets on this dry board texture. We can't have two pair in a free bet pot, no combinations of that. So we're literally repping nothing. Unless slow played aces, maybe slow played aces, that's it, 6 combos of that. But other than that, there's just not much else we can have here. And that's why Ben has an instant mucked here, Sal, with ace 4 here on king high board. And there we go. He's just sniffed it out. He sniffed it out, and
that is fabulous.
It's a great play because he sniffed out what on earth's man supposed to have. He can't have anything. You can't raise king 7 deuce rainbow in a free bet pot. You just can't when you're not the free better. It's so weird. It's so weird. And Ben sniffed it out with the ace 4 and just get it through. I'm still not sure I would have shoved, but it worked on that occasion. Well played, Ben, in seat 1.
Brilliant. Absolutely well worked out, and yet again worked out from Jay, who is just fabulous analyst. Yeah, the turbos have been a great addition to the GUKPTs. A lot of people don't want to play a 60-minute clock all the time. And the attendances this year for the turbos, Aaron, have been absolutely amazing. They've also had plenty of uniques as well. It's not as if everybody's just trying to flick it in. There's been so many uniques playing the turbos. So fingers crossed you do get a chance to play one of the longer flights if that's what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Chase. Which like never do you see raises on them boards. That's true. It's like what we supposed to have as our like what are we supposed to have as a raise on that board? That's a question for everyone. On King 7 Deuce, what are we raising as a bluff? What are we raising for value? Like, it's really, really hard. And it is an interesting spot in theory because you don't see check raises out of position like on that board. You just don't ever see it. And I was surprised to see it from Man. That was the last thing I thought he was ever going to do there with the ace 10 on that particular board. And that's the interesting thing about these games. You can break down all these spots you want, but in these spots where you never see something, maybe start doing it. Maybe start incorporating it into your game. But like just looking at it, like what, I can't even think. Yeah, maybe some ace queen suited with backdoor flush draw. Ace king, maybe some king jack suited, king 10